Hi and welcome back to the channel. I'm Steven from Xkrugani Photos. Today with my very own take, my own user review on this good old nifty 50 lens, Canon's EF 50mm f1.8 STM. This is a lens where almost, if not all Canon users used to own one or still have one today. And some of you may have upgraded to the RF version, which I haven't done so, because frankly speaking, the image quality gain, the improvement is almost non-existent. The only benefit is not having to use an adapter, so your lens is 1 inch shorter. And with this EF version today, you can still get one brand new for $150 used around $100. The RF version is $200, but then you don't have to spend $100 on an adapter. But an adapter is also something you buy only once and you can use multiple EF lenses on it. So with the image quality part, I don't want to go into the technicals because I have been trying to figure out how to review this lens my way without repeating what other 10,000 people has done with this lens when they review them, which is to inspect the center sharpness, the corner sharpness, chromatic aberration, and so on. Like, everyone has done that, so that is not what I'm going to do with today's review. All I can tell you in short is that this lens is not sharp at f1.8. Certainly usable for social media, but it is not sharp. The lens only sharpens up from around f2.8, but if you want corner-to-corner sharpness, you're looking at peak performance around f5.6, typical for a nifty 50. My focus for today is actually the bokeh part, right? This is a lens where whenever you see someone buy a new camera, be it a mirrorless or a DSLR, they ask you, what is a second lens that I should get? I want that nice blurry background. Then this is the lens you recommend them to get because it is so affordable. The thing is that when it comes to bokeh quality, I am not a fan of this nifty 50. And I could say the same about the Nikon version, the 1.8G or 1.8D even. The bokeh quality of this lens is not great. It is average or even below average, right? Especially if you are shooting against a complex or a busy background. Foliage is the best example. Trees in a park, in a forest. Then the bokeh quality can look pretty terrible. It can look pretty distracting even. Especially if your shooting distance is quite far away from a main subject, you're going for a full body shot, then even wide open at f1.8, the bokeh can look pretty messy, pretty distracting, you know, strong specular highlights with longitudinal chromatic aberration or loca. In general, it looks like bubble style bokeh, not very nice. However, there is also this trend recently where people purposely buy lenses with flawed bokeh, like solely bokeh, or those with very strong cat's eye effect. And even brands like TT Artisan, they have released this macro lens, 100mm if I'm not mistaken, bubble bokeh lens. And to be honest with you, when I saw the sample images coming out from that lens, I did not like it at all. It looks so distracting, but people like it. And then there was this realization I had recently, and it has something to do with smartphone photography. So nowadays, fake bokeh is so widespread, it is so common, because smartphone cameras, they have very small sensors, which means you won't be getting any bokeh at all, even though they advertise the camera as having a f1.7, f1.6 lens. Because the sensor is so small and the lens is so wide, 24mm equivalent usually, then you won't get any bokeh even if the aperture is so big. So what these smartphone companies have resorted to doing is to introduce fake bokeh, software AI algorithm, where they detect the main subject in the photograph and then they artificially blur off the background. And those kind of photographs, they have always looked so unnatural to me because the lens being used is a wide angle lens, 24-26mm, yet the background is so blurry that it feels like the photo was taken with a 24mm f 0.5 lens, which does not exist. Like, the level of background blur is not something you'll ever see in a wide angle lens, even on a full frame camera. And if there is one very consistent pattern with bokeh when it comes to smartphone photos, is that all of them look like Gaussian blur. Which is to say, you put an image into Photoshop and then you just select the entire image or at least the background and add Gaussian blur. Just a very homogeneous, smooth background blur, no character at all, and you could immediately tell that it is fake, especially if you are an experienced photographer. So I had this realization. No matter how smart AI software is, the real bokeh coming from lenses like this, including all of the imperfections, this smartphone software, they were unable to replicate that. All they give you is a very clinical look, a very smooth Gaussian blur, and because of that, they can look pretty fake, even more so when applied on a wide angle image. So in a way, if I wanted my photographs to look like they came from a real camera, then imperfect or bad bokeh could be better than one that is too clinical looking, if that makes any sense. I am also having this renewed interest in street photography, where I go for longer focal length lenses. I intend to make a different video with that topic, because the photographs I get are the kinds of photos where smartphone users will never get, right? And the same logic applies over here. If everyone are slapping fake bokeh onto their smartphone pictures, then if I go out and shoot street photography, I just choose something that is slightly imperfect so that it looks different from photographs taken with a smartphone. And with this reason alone, I'm starting to think and change my perspective on lenses with bad bokeh. Sure enough, I wouldn't want to use a lens with bad bokeh in a professional job maybe, or in my studio shoots. But if I'm going on a vacation or on a street photography trip in my hometown, then maybe an imperfect lens with bad bokeh, with blurry corners might be better, because the photograph looks a bit more organic rather than too clinical in a way. Yes, not to mention, I've also noticed this trend nowadays where people like to use black mist filters on their lens for photography, not video, for photography. Because nowadays modern lenses have gotten way too clinical, very sharp, very contrasty, but sometimes that is not the look you want. So people are purposely making flares worse on their lens, purposely reducing contrast on their lenses by using black mist filters. So with that in mind, maybe bad bokeh is not a bad thing. And for that reason alone, if you are looking for a lens like this, you just want a lens that blurs off the background, you don't care how the blur looks like, then this is a lens where I think is still relevant even today. If you have one, keep it, do not sell it. And if you're looking to purchase one, go ahead and pick one up.